Biggie was, totally like in the hood, but he still he was glossy. He was much more glossy and much more kind of, I don't want to say commercial, but how he presented himself, because Puff of course was attached to it. It had more luxury on it. You know what I mean? And whereas Pop was grimy, gritty from the streets, and represented just a different facet of artistry. I feel like in this case, Nicki would be Biggie and Cardi would be Pop.
Big Boy's
Big
Neighborhood.
Boy.
All righty now, man. I get asked this a lot, where people say, who's your favorite guest, or who do you like to come to the neighborhood? Like, who's interesting to you? And I would really have to say, all jokes aside, that the person that's sitting in here, T.I., I enjoy when you come to the neighborhood, bro.
Very
Man,
nice.
I appreciate that.
No, and it's the truth. I was going to insert joke here, like, no, and it's not him. But I can't even front. I can't front, man. Like, I enjoy when you come to the neighborhood, bro. And the first thing I do want to ask you, what are you doing here? And the reason why I ask that is because you got the #1 podcast in the world pretty damn much with Expeditiously.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even come and do nobody else's show.
Nah, man. Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do it right now, so when I get even bigger, I won't have to come back. I was
There it
able
is.
to say, I was like, I didn't change so soon. You know what I'm saying?
Or at least would tell us like, hey, man, he told us.
You did?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
the
we
dude
do-
wasn't lying.
That's all you can
I'm going to
ask.
start doing your show. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
man, that'll be a damn good idea.
You know what? Nah, I listen to Expeditiously, man. You guys are too intelligent.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all tackling real stuff over there.
I mean, yeah, man, that's what I set out to do, man. I wanted to take advantage of the platform that was afforded to me to have the discussions that could really do some good to push the culture forward.
It seemed like low-hanging fruit for you, though, Tip. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I heard you doing a podcast, and then when we spoke and I heard the name, and then I heard the first 2 episodes, I was like, just when we first talked about it,
Right.
I was like, it didn't surprise me when they announced that you had the #1 podcast.
Shit shocked the shit out of me. Actually. You know, so I had no idea, no real desire or intention to do one. And I was approached by Podcast One, and they said, hey, man, why don't you do a podcast here? And I think my son said, yeah, maybe then you could stop going back and forth with people on Instagram.
Right.
Like, yo, bro.
Because that's where we see a lot of and Instagram, it's like you can't be as long form.
Right.
You can't, you know what I'm saying?
And a lot of stuff gets lost in translation over text.
tones.
Very much so. Very much so, man. Were you hesitant at first to do a podcast?
Nah, man, not when, my first thing was, like, why?
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I sat down with Peter and the guys over there at Podcast One, they kind of told me that, hey, listen, we want to have a way to create healthy dialogue. You know what I mean? For people, the same things that you address on Instagram, we want to, give you more time to speak about that so it can actually have more impact. I said, okay. I see where you're going.
Right.
You know what
but
I mean?
it's crazy because you didn't set out for it.
I didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't. Then I started like just writing down like, the most just undiscussed topics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That affect us within the community.
What have you done with Expeditiously episode wise, and what do you see coming up in the near future?
What have I done so far?
Yeah, I know you sat down with the real Rick Ross, and y'all really, even just sitting down, we hear a lot of so-called snitching conversations. You know what I'm saying? But even when y'all were breaking down, I was like, hold on, man, I'm a snitch. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but see, that's the thing though, because we got kids coming up, and they don't have a lot of direction. You know what I'm saying? A lot of instructions, a lot of just insight in the situations that they will find themselves in. I always think about it as if I could talk to a person who is at the point where I was before I got my record deal, and tell them, okay, now on this journey, you're gonna run into this, you're gonna run into this, and these are the things you need to keep in mind. If I can be that for someone, you dig what I'm saying, and allow them to kind of avoid certain pitfalls or just plummet down certain areas of darkness that I did. I think that's, you know what I'm saying, that's, you know, that's a good reason to do a podcast.
Yeah, man. And the one thing,
and if
with
I just happen to make millions of dollars out of it, then you know that's
hey man, and it
That's
could
a
have
balance.
benefits.
you know what I'm saying?
What are the perks?
like you've been speaking for free for so long.
You think what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't get no goddamn Instagram check. You know, but no, man, and you speak and we trust you. That's the one thing, Tip,
Yes.
is that we trust you. And when you speak up, we're like, it's the right person saying the right thing at the right time, at the right moment.
Man. Now, when you say stuff like that, it makes me feel like I should be responsible. So.
Right. But you know what it is too. But there's also there's human elements. Like, we're flawed.
Right.
We're wrong. We're right.
Right.
We're we're explosive.
Right.
We're calm. And I think that we get all that out of you. Like there's a time when there's an aggressive,
Right.
and then there's a hey, I'm soft spoken.
Sure.
I'm here. There's a time to apologize, whatever it may be.
Sure.
But we get that, and you're not always right.
Right.
And you're ready for the dialogue.
Right.
That's what I enjoy about you.
I think, man, one thing about it, man, life is, it's a one big class. We learning, from the time we born to the time we die. We're here to learn and discover new things that allow us to make the necessary adjustments for us to get to the next level of life. And when we stop learning, when we stop listening,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We start growing, we start dying. So, I mean, when I speak to enlighten, you know what I mean? I speak to encourage, and every now and again I speak to entertain, whether it's you or myself.
Right.
But that ain't gonna come with me being absolutely correct all the time.
Right.
But nobody is, so nobody should expect me to be. Now, if I'm incorrect, then enlighten me.
Right.
Now, if you interrupt me, you damn sure better be right.
Right, yeah. If you cut me off, you know what I'm saying, with no blinker on. We just recently saw you at that Revolt conference.
Yeah.
And I think everyone in the neighborhood has the same question.
What's that?
And Candace Owens.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever get to follow up and get an actual answer from Candace Owens? Because I feel like you literally shut her down. She didn't know how to answer your question on how or when America was ever great.
Yeah,
To
what
be
part are
honest-
we talking about when we say make America great
Yeah,
again?
I mean, to be honest with you, none of them ever do. No, if you want to stump a Trump supporter, ask them that question.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that, okay, first of all, let me start off with saying she's a sister, and I support her brilliance. You know what I mean? I understand that she's a sister that happens to be using her brilliance adversely. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to her speak, and we've had many different conversations. That's not the first time we met. It's not the first discussion we've had. And I'm not necessarily against her personally, but a lot of her views and a lot of the rhetoric that she spews is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying it's dangerous and I'm not saying every black person has to be a Democrat. And everybody who you think that I'm not speaking I'm not speaking on behalf of or in support of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. I'm speaking for fair, righteous, and decent. You know what I mean? And there's just certain things that you have to understand you can't say. You know what I mean? You can say it, but you can't expect to not have any opposition to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I don't want to, I don't want it to come off in any way disrespectful or, like it's a me against her thing. It's me against what she's saying thing, a me against what I feel she's representing type thing.
When the sound bite is over or when y'all get off the stage,
Yeah.
what's the dialogue after with Tip and Candace Owens?
I said I'm not against you. What's going on? Like, I'm still conversational. You know what I'm saying? I don't have anything against Candace.
Right.
I said, if you listen to the full panel, I said many times, I like you, Candace.
Yeah.
I like you. I think you're extremely intelligent. But I can't just let you just say this kind of shit right here. I got my son watching, and it's just
Right.
young kids up here, and I can't afford to have them be misdirected.
What was her agenda? If there was an agenda, what was her agenda that day? For one, I love that she showed up to the podium.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think her agenda. I think her agenda was to support the Republican Party.
Yeah, you're like, B, that was a dumbass question. Like,
Do you, after hearing certain things that she says, has there ever been a point where you said, "Oh, I can actually see where you're coming from. I get that it like kind of flips on."
Yes.
Specifically, what?
Well, when she talk about the how black women were incentivized to not have men in their homes by way of welfare. Section 8 and so on and so forth, and it was almost like they were being paid to be single mothers.
Right.
And that is, that's absolutely factual. You know what I mean? When you talk about some of the crime bills that were passed by the Democrats, you know what I'm saying, that kind of it perpetuated mass incarceration. You know what I'm saying? It kind of destroyed our communities in that way. Hey, it's absolutely factual.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't argue on behalf of the past. You know what I'm saying? What happened before I came into understanding of what a Democrat, a Republican, or what. So that stuff happened. Right now, I'm looking at what we have as representation for this country is substandard and unacceptable. You know what I mean? And what the fuel that is being fanned for white supremacy by the leadership in this country is unacceptable. Now, that's what I know. So all that other stuff, you may be right about that. That may be absolutely true, but none of that is going to make me go with this.
Right.
And Candace is obviously not the only person of color that supports Trump. We've seen it. What do you think in general of people of color that support Trump?
I think, man, I think it's a bit self-serving. I think they see what they can gain from the administration. Because don't get me wrong, if you make a little money, there are some perks.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to argue against the perks. I'm not going to do that. Because, hey, if I can take advantage of the perks and get myself more resources to continue to push forward the movement and keep the struggle alive, then I'm going to do that. I'd be foolish not to. But at the same time.
But the perks don't buy your silence
That's
either.
it. Absolutely. But at the same time, I'm not going to pretend that, this shit is right. Because I know it isn't. I know it isn't. And if I ever had a decision to make, well, you can keep these perks if these people stay in office, or, you may lose the perks, but you'll have fair representation for the greater good of all. And I'm going to go with the fair representation for the greater good of all.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just because I'm not just thinking about myself.
Right.
I'm not just thinking about, how someone being in a certain position will benefit me. I'm thinking about how this could potentially damage generations to come.
Yeah, man.
You dig what I'm
This is
saying?
gonna take a lot of it's gonna take a lot of time to so-called repair this.
But a great man plants a tree that he'll never enjoy the shade. That's what you're doing.
I mean,
I wish I would have
you
said
made me sound so eloquent. You know what I'm saying? I guess so. I am, ain't I? Expeditiously, everybody. On podcast one.
And I think that's why people really do appreciate you, Tip, because you are speaking for the people. And even when we heard Ye versus the people, you know, and Kanye is one of your friends, and he's somebody that supports Donald Trump. Have you and Kanye been able to have like a a follow-up conversation about Trump, where he's at right now?
We haven't had a political discussion right now. We have had a personal discussion, and we are still friends. And I do still love Kanye. You know what I mean? And I think Kanye is in a much better space than he was when he was making those comments. And I don't know if that changed who he supports. I didn't even spoke to him about that.
Right.
He ain't talked to me about nobody but Jesus.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have you been to Sunday? You went to Sunday
I went to
service,
Sunday service, and I said, you know what? I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how you could, because not speaking on behalf of Kanye, but other Trump supporters who are, I guess, to the far right, you can't support Jesus and be a white supremacist at the same time.
That's my confusion.
Just like, you can't do that now.
They will argue you all the way to your dying day.
People,
right?
You can't hate people and do terrible, despicable, diabolical things to them and their children,
And be okay with it.
and still say you represent Jesus. You cannot do that. It's not godly. It's not even human.
Right.
And it's definitely not American.
Right.
So I don't understand. And then if only there were somewhere we could go to find some insight or instructions or something like a guide of what to do.
Right.
If only there were a piece of paper
Yeah, a book even,
called
huh?
the Constitution
Right.
that we
Oh,
could refer back to
that thing.
and say, this is how things should be done. If only. Okay, so we American, and as Americans, we were raised to support and direct ourselves to the Constitution. And the Constitution is supposed to guide us in our actions. Okay, well, they done deviated completely away from that. They done threw the Constitution out the window. So that's I think more than anything, that is the issue here. It's not about Democrat or Republican. It's not about black or white.
Yep.
It's not about rich or poor. It's not about old or young. It's about fair, decent, and what's on the Constitution. So anything that go away from that, then I'm gonna have to speak on it.
Do you ever get concerned for your safety, Tip?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like if I came up in what I came up in and I made it out of that,
You're like, man, this is the park. I'm walking. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking through the park.
I mean,
Jay-Z, NFL. While everybody was kind of, shrugging their shoulders and, doing shaking my head,
Right.
you came out with an understanding of what was going on with Jay-Z, you felt.
well, I came out with an understanding of Jay-Z.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People who haven't experienced him and haven't really been observing him as long as I have may feel like this is off-putting, weird behavior. Me knowing him, he don't tell anybody anything.
Right.
You ain't gonna get no kind of precursor to what he's about to do. It's not gonna happen. So anyone who feel like he should have said something to them, the only person he's probably obligated to speak to about all of his business is Beyonce.
Right. Yeah.
His wife.
So I understand that because I know and I understand him. And also I know his heart. And I
Right.
know what he's been doing for the community
Yeah.
throughout the time he's been in position, he's been a representative of the community. So that is what I spoke on. And my support of him is in no way my lack of showing a lack of support for Cap.
Right, I hear
You know what I mean? I support Cap just as much. I don't think that what people were doing is from what I saw was trying to put Jay against Cap. And that's what I can't go with that. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, we were all complaining, myself included, about it being, kind of the NFL manipulating our culture and taking advantage of the use of our commerce, but not giving us fair representation. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that we can make that complaint without accepting when they make an effort to put someone in position that could remedy and rectify that. And it also is off-putting to me because I didn't know that we were holding out to get Cap a job. I didn't know that was the end goal.
Right.
Nobody ever said, hey, look, don't mess with the NFL until they get Cap a job. I didn't know that was nobody told me this is what we going for. You dig? So I mean, so those are the things that that I kind of feel that popped up in my head.
Yeah, I definitely felt like people watched the trailer and not the movie. You know what I'm saying when it came to that.
Right.
And we were even speaking about it in the neighborhood as well. We were like, man, Jay-Z is a lot smarter than that, and he's done a lot more than. And you got to see how it plays out.
Right.
You definitely got to see how it plays
It's definitely
out.
too soon to tell.
He didn't need the money to do this, there's no reason why
I'm sure he enjoys it though.
Right, I'm sure, but he doesn't need to sell out, so to say, to do this at this far in his career.
Right.
And for me personally too, I haven't been watching the NFL because of Kaepernick, because I just felt that the NFL turned their backs on the main people that make their organization run. And also with that, we didn't know fully what was in that settlement that Kaepernick and the NFL. We don't know everything that was in that settlement. That wasn't put all out on the table.
And see, that is another thing. Okay, if there has been a settlement accepted, to me, that resolves the issue. To me, you know, unless I'm told otherwise, unless somebody say, "Now it's still on," you know, and I haven't heard that. So if there has been no extensive discussion, and I don't have any further clarity in the matter besides what I've seen. If you settle, it's resolved. That's how I take it. And maybe Jay took it that way too.
Right.
You know
I don't think if it's settled, it's resolved. I think that it closes up something, but not everything.
But see, that has to be, you have to distinguish that.
Right.
You have to come out and you have to say, okay, we have settled on this, but we still got to talk about that. And I haven't heard that.
Okay.
So if Cap comes out and says, "Hey, we're done. This thing is done. We're good, guys. Like, thanks for the support."
And they really gonna
But I mean, how could he even say that though? What are we done with though?
Yeah.
Because his whole reason for kneeling hasn't been taken away.
But
it wasn't
at the
about a
same
check.
time, but look though, but that's the thing though. Okay, so you're kneeling. We were kneeling. We are kneeling for the purpose of what?
Police brutality.
Injustice.
Right.
Injustice,
Black
police
Lives Matter.
brutality. Okay, now, are there demands? So we will stop kneeling if what happens?
Right.
See what I'm saying?
So it ain't over.
Yeah.
So, but what have we said that we still ain't never gave a list of demands as far as these are the target items that we want addressed, and we'll stop kneeling, or we'll, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What is it? Is it that we want to be able to go after the policeman's pensions when they kill one of our people? Is it that we like, what law do we want changed? What legislation do we want passed? What is it that we trying to do? I think that's what Jay is saying. You dig what I'm saying? We just we going through it, and it's necessary for us, you know, to show our disdain and disgust for what's going on within the country. And we will continue to do that. However, we can't ever expect to fix nothing if we haven't made any suggestions.
Right.
We ain't said what we want yet.
Or go vote.
That's very right.
Absolutely, but I'm just saying, as far as this particular situation, I'm down to go all the way. Balls to the wall, nose to the grindstone, but I got to know what we doing.
I heard that. T.I. is in the neighborhood, man. From France. Don't believe anything that you guys hear about.
Bonjour.
Where this dude is really from, man.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah. Hey, T.I., what's going down? Any other acting or anything like that?
Man?
Yeah, absolutely. I have there's a film called Monster Hunters. It doesn't come out the next year though, but it's phenomenal.
And they put you in that?
Yeah, they did.
Hilarious.
They actually
Who's
did.
in it?
You
What's
did.
it?
How much you pay to get in it? Nah.
Yeah.
What's it about?
What do
Who
you
else
play?
is in
The
it?
dead body?
Hey man, that would be that's a good check.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like I wouldn't be
You know
like,
what I'm
all right,
saying?
and we're wrapped on Big Boy. All right, thank y'all so much.
Yeah, especially someone with your level of talent. I think,
I don't know how to take that. I don't know how to take that.
those are the best ones. You
Yeah,
slide that one.
it
slide
definitely was
that
a
one on by
compliment,
you.
this,
That was
man.
a very much
It
compliment.
definitely was. Are those
Yeah.
new teeth that you have, T.I.?
No, man, these the same old ones. They look better than yours last time.
But that just showed me that
Those are
you're
really
in a
nice.
different tax bracket. Because, man, once I get my money up,
What?
oh, man, when
You
I
still
get my
gonna be
money.
ugly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
But not as ugly as I am today. Y'all laughing too much.
Sorry.
Y'all laughing too much.
It was more
I got
shock.
you, dog.
I just can't believe.
Thank you,
I got
Louis,
you.
I
my
just
fellow
can't
ugly
believe
person.
it. I can't believe you said that.
You gonna come after
Thank you,
T.I.?
Louis.
shocked.
Hey, man, you know it's
I'm
a
in
trip. When we
shock.
play around like this, I think it really upsets my wife.
Oh, does-
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
She's gonna come after you, and then us for laughing.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
she don't like you talking about me like that, huh?
Hey, when you said she gonna come after, she gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm glad you did. What's up, T.I.? What's up, Daddy? What the fuck?
Like, wait, this is what I meant.
like, what are you doing? What are you doing over there? This dude over here, man, he come in with this southern drawl
Yeah.
and all that. Hey, well, I haven't not seen that yet. And you know what I'm saying? All
Tell
that
him big.
fake, all that fake ass
Oh my
shit.
God.
You know what I'm
Acting all
saying?
smart.
It's
Like,
fake.
yeah, we like, always smart. The reason why
Right.
he paused because he don't know what the fuck he gonna say next.
He's like, what word did I read in
Yeah.
the dictionary
Think
last?
twice, speak once.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. Measure twice, cut once.
There you
I
go.
ain't mad. It's think twice, speak once.
Yeah.
What about the cancel culture? Do you ever think about that? Like get caught up in anything like that?
Well, I think that I think the culture's canceling people for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? I think that the culture will cancel you for your opinion.
Yeah.
You know, for your past transgressions. But they won't cancel corporations for their present day disrespect. You know what I mean? Like that to me, I don't understand how you can come and get at me about something I did years ago.
Right. Have you seen that Dave Chappelle?
Yeah,
Sticks and
Sticks and
Stones.
Stones. Yeah.
I
definitely.
thought that was the right person to do the right
I think
job.
he said everything that needed to be said.
And he's one of those, bro. If there was a cancel for real cancel, Dave Chappelle,
Man,
Dave would be gone. He'd be like, I don't want it
immune.
anyway.
He's immune.
Yeah,
He's
man.
immune, and that's the main thing and that's what I aim to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Just an ability to express myself in a form that will be judgment free, and I will be able to actually take advantage of my First Amendment right to free speech. Because it seems like, again, it's going against the Constitution. Constitution said we had a right to free speech.
Right.
Okay, you're taking that's un-American. Now I just want y'all to know that, whether you like it or not.
Oh, it's definitely
But it
freedom.
goes both ways, though.
But it's definitely freedom of speech. Just watch what you say.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's
Who
freedom
you
of
say it
speech.
to.
that's the thing.
Let me ask you
That's not
this.
necessarily American.
T.I., the Gucci band.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when we first saw the sweater, which I felt like was blackface. And when we came and we heard Gucci band, how did you feel about those that didn't? You know, it was like a lot of. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. As opposed to us kind of sitting back and saying, hey, well, what are we doing here?
Well, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
I felt like, expected this to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what happens because everybody.
So you weren't surprised?
No,
Yeah,
not at all.
same.
Not at all.
Same.
I may have been surprised by how many and how soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But the first ones to step out there, I wasn't surprised about that.
Right, I hear you.
I mean, and it's funny you asked that because just yesterday in the Wall Street Journal in the business section, I think that's the finance section. I believe it's page B1.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for being
They
so
did
direct.
an article. They did an article about the decline in Gucci's value since then, and they talked about how Gucci has been kind of in the forefront of going viral and being on the entertainers in America and so on and so forth, and how this blunder of theirs, being the sweater, has caused a decline in their numbers. And it's a lot to read, so that's why I ain't posted because it wasn't no real no real log line about it. So I feel like I wasn't gonna ask nobody to read the whole thing. But anybody who is above 5th grade.
If you tell them there's a
Reading
Popeye's
level.
chicken sandwich, if they click here,
Now, that'll get them to read. They'll read 5-6 pages. Anyway, but so it talked about how they had a dip in their decline in their stocks or in their profits, and I just thinking to myself, damn, if we did that, just imagine what we could have did if niggas actually stuck together. If we actually stuck together and said, man, well, I don't really like it, but I'm gonna do it, man, just because I'm gonna support the cause. If we really did that, man, they'll be at the table. They'll be pulling up, saying, "Man, what y'all need? How do we fix this?"
Yeah, we
Cater
would
to
still
you.
be in the back of the bus if we didn't pull it together.
I mean, and that's the thing right now. Nobody ever wants to pull together because everybody has a disagreement. There's something that they want to be done different. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
Entitlement.
we can't do Gucci. Why not? I want us to do Louis and Prada too.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, all right, with Prada, but what about Louis? Ain't really did nothing yet that we saw.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They asked,
Like we're gonna get one, get them all. Like
yeah, I mean, but this is what we're doing. And if you had such phenomenal ideas, then you would have said it first, and I would be following you. I would be doing this in support of you. But because I said it and you didn't,
Right.
I ain't doing that.
What does that do with Gucci down the line for T.I.?
I mean, I
Like-
still ain't wearing it. But
Right.
but the reason I still ain't wearing it is because I peep game and I see what's going on. Okay, so you did this, and the main thing, the problem that I had with the company is after you did that, you can't come tell me what you're gonna do to fix what you did wrong. You know what I'm saying? You can't come and tell me how you're gonna make this right. So I feel like, okay, after you fucked up, which everybody does, you know what I'm saying? Everybody fuck up, no problem. But after you fucked up, you didn't come and say, what can we do to make this right? You came and sat people in a room, had a private meeting with the wrong people, or not all of the right people in the room.
Right, say it.
And said, this is what we will do to satisfy the situation. And now everybody in the room said, okay. And half of them people had jobs and were paid
Right.
by the corporation that we standing against. So that's not fair representation. It wasn't nobody in that room that could stand up and say, man, hell no, man, that ain't
Yeah.
enough. That ain't good
Yeah.
enough. It wasn't nobody in that room that could do that for the people. And so when they walked out, it's like, hey, man, look what they did. They did this, man. They did this, man. So they all right, man, you know, like, and everybody was like, well, good. Phew. I wanted to wear my shit anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that, to me, man, that's hoe shit. You know what I mean? That's how you do a suck ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I done hit your car. Oh, man, you know what? I tell you what, man. I'm going to buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Like
You settle for.
Well, I told you fucked up my
Yeah,
car. It's about
man.
10,000 worth of damage, but
But he bought me in
he
1942
did
bottle.
buy me in 1942 bottle. Look at that, man. Come on, man.
Turn up.
That's how you do a bitch ass nigga, man. And I just ain't never went out like that. And I seen that. I peeped that. So I ain't finna roll with it.
I heard
Now, anybody else want to get treated like a bitch ass nigga? Enjoy your Gucci.
T.I., you recently paid homage to Nipsey Hussle and Trap Museum. Why was that important to you to do?
The Trap Music Museum.
Trap Music Museum.
Because the Trap Museum would be something
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah. Be like,
All
man, what the-
together.
Like, what the hell is this over here?
Yeah, wait a minute. That's a whole different version.
What's all this
Trap
bacon
Music
so-
Museum.
Not quite a bad idea.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm
Later
thinking
on.
about it.
Yeah, but the Trap Music Museum is about artists that speak for the culture, artists that defied the odds, that were born in the desolate, most underserved areas in this country, and it's about their experiences, their stories, the lessons they've learned, and their evolution. And Nip is the most quintessential version of that representation that I've, you know what I'm saying, that I could think of in present day. So in his passing, I mean, I felt that it was more than appropriate. It was almost mandatory.
Do you remember the last conversation you had with Nipsey?
The last conversation I had with Nip was actually about us going on vacation. My old lady and his old lady, they was doing a show together on BET. What's it called? Games We Play or something?
Oh,
like
yes,
that?
Games We Play.
And he was dropping her off, and I was taking my old lady. You know what I'm saying? And they had done talked on set by doing a vacation together. And I think I pulled back up when he was having the Grammy.
With his dinner?
Yeah, the thing that he had with me, Jay, Dave Chappelle, all us was there. At the, I think it's the Peppermint, is it?
Yeah, at the
Something
Peppermint
that.
Club in
Yeah, and Mars and 1500. You know what I mean? All of us was there, and Snoop as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Snoop the night that Snoop was
So all of us there, and then, you know, in the middle of our discussion, he pulled me like, hey man, so when we gonna take that vacation, homie? You know what I'm saying? So that was the last conversation that I can remember.
How will the marathon continue in your life?
I mean, I'm just gonna continue to, man, do everything I can to liberate my people and revitalize our communities and just contribute to having a self-sustaining, financially stable ecosystem for our people and our children and their children. I mean, I'm trying to create, inspire, and encourage people to get out here and do what me, Nip, and so many others are doing. But we can't do it on our own. So,
Hey, Tip, why do you care about that? Because you know, you see a lot of people that say, I'm good, I'm out. Like, why carry the burden? And I'm asking that just as a question, you know?
Man, one, because I'm a solution-based problem solver, and I think I'm kind of smart. So I see so many issues. So just to turn away and not make any effort to try to fix, at least somewhat repair some of the things that I see going wrong. It's almost like if you pass by something, y'all, man, look, all they got to do is.
Right, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I'm actually, instead of just saying all they got to do is, I'm doing all I think they got to do. You know what I mean? And then having children that's growing up and coming into a certain age where they now have to navigate themselves through the communities and environments of the world that, you know, I want to feel like I had a hand in making better. You know what I'm saying? So if one of my kids ends up falling victim to some shit I could have fixed,
right,
then that's gonna weigh heavy on me.
Could have.
You know what I mean? So I think, you know, and then I also was one of those people who was in the community who needed the help, who didn't have the direction, who didn't know how to get done what he wanted to get done, had a dream but no way to make it happen. That was me. So I see me in a lot of the youngsters that's coming up right now. And that's why, you know, but I know me being where I was, I wouldn't have got here without some real tough lessons, tough love, and making some tough decisions.
Yeah, that's a lot of tuition into the school of experience, too.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to hold nobody's hand. I ain't going to baby you. I'm going to give you exactly what you need, whether you know you need it right now or not. I'm going to give you exactly what you need to get you to the next level. And that's, I mean, I just have a place in my heart for the place I came from and the people who I represent.
T.I., you got a birthday coming up, man.
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
It's your
You're September
birthday.
25th?
Yeah, 9/25.
I heard that, brother. What you gonna do for your birthday? Because you sure didn't come to mine, but that's all right.
But you know what? So what?
Wow.
You called me and I told you that if I was in town, I'd come.
Yeah.
Right? And then when it happened, right, I
Right.
was in town.
Yeah, you were. I saw you posting.
But
Wow.
I had like just some other more important thing going on. So
I love how you
wasn't-
keeping it real. I love how you, and you know what's crazy?
Really disrespectful
It was
almost,
times
in
that
a
I was
sense.
sitting at my party and I was looking. I was like, man, he better not show up here. You know what I'm saying? Coming in all flossy and diamond up. I was
already
like,
know how
man.
he is.
So we had a good night, a great night without
figured
you.
You missed
know what I'm
out.
saying?
Fun, bro.
I figured that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
I
great that you
Food
didn't
was
come.
good.
I mean, it was supposed to be your night.
Right, yeah.
I show
And it
up.
was.
It
Then
is
what
all
happened?
about me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That is true. So do I come to your birthday party or you figure that you're not going to go that low?
Yeah, I mean, I figured, man,
Yeah, yeah.
I think you can show up.
I'm not talking about working like I did the last one.
That,
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was just finna say. You can show up,
Passing hors d'oeuvres and whatnot.
but for a purpose.
Right. Yeah. So are you going to do anything for your birthday?
Man, I don't really. I might do something just like intimate or small, like, you know what I'm saying, those big like self-gratuitous celebrations. They cool.
What?
Yeah. You
He said
never-
those big self-gratuitous celebrations.
Wait, let me
Yeah.
write that down.
Man, this dude,
Don't learn that
man.
word.
But they good, but they really be for everybody else.
Yeah, I figured that out when
you-
I paid my American Express bill.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really me paying a bunch of money for everybody else to come enjoy themselves.
Well, that's the only way
true.
people hang out with me.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
You know what
Well,
I'm
for
saying?
you, it's a good deal.
Yeah, I was
You
like,
got off
man.
cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And even people were like, there was a wedding also that was going downstairs.
was
I heard
fun.
you was at the wedding downstairs.
I got a slice of cake. I did get a
They
slice
was like,
of
you know,
cake.
big upstairs. You're like, I know, don't tell him I'm
Yeah.
down here. Yeah.
What does someone get T.I. for his birthday?
Anything they want to.
Like what?
I mean, man, to me, it's all about the thought.
thought.
Because nobody got to get nobody anything.
I'm definitely getting you shit in the box.
What do your kids get you?
Something with his money.
Probably, yeah. They usually borrow some money to get me something.
But your kids got
They're making
checks,
money,
though.
yeah.
They still borrow money
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's yours is ours. What's theirs is theirs.
absolutely.
I heard that.
Without
How,
question.
how does it feel with your boys following your footsteps and dabbing into the music industry?
I mean, for me, man, I just want them to follow their passion. You know, just have a dream. Whatever that dream is, man, have one. And that dream will lead you to another dream that will lead you to another dream. But if you don't have the first one, you'll stay stuck. So that's the main thing.
Are you afraid
What-
of them messing up the legacy? Like, man, I worked too hard for y'all to be in here talking about T.I.'s son.
But one thing about it, they can't mess up my legacy.
Right. Like, the key word is my. The key word is my legacy.
And that's what I tell them. Your legacy is yours.
I heard that.
So you'll be responsible for the actions and the things that you have to contribute.
It doesn't scare you to have your kids in the business?
It scares me based on what I know about other people. Like, I don't want to. I've gotten myself out of a certain area of activity, and I don't want to have to engage behind something that somebody done did to
the
my
kids.
children. You dig what I'm saying? But I mean, I guess I will. You know, you can take me back to a place that I may still enjoy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Total recall.
Their style of music is so different from one another. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Damani, is that Damani and King? Like, their music are two different worlds.
That's
like,
T.I. and Tip.
For both of them. What are those conversations that you have with them? Do they come to you for music advice or your approval of their music?
King does. You know, King still wants to listen and hear what I have to say. But Damani don't even like he'll give me songs when he done with them.
He's like, listen,
you know what I'm saying? But this is here. You know, I don't care if you like it or not.
Right.
I'm just letting you hear.
Not the creation created. Right. This is what I created.
Yeah, this is what I've done.
Yeah, not what I'm doing.
And he has in his mind, he has his vision for how he wants his art to be presented and how he wants to present himself. And his main thing is, man, I'm not just trying to be your son for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I have my own aspirations. I have my own thoughts, my own visions, my own views and perspectives. And I'm here to represent that.
There was a message that you sent that I felt like in hip hop the last couple of years, we felt like we had to choose between, if two female rappers came out, we can only pick one. And more specifically, it was Cardi and Nicki. But you sent out a very different kind of message. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Well, I mean, I think they both have significant representations in the culture for not just women, but for the culture, period. I feel the same way. Let's just say you could take the Biggie and Pop, you know, because Biggie was, you know, totally like in the hood, but he was glossy. He was much more glossy and much more kind of, I don't want to say commercial, but you know how he presented himself, because Puff of course was attached to it. It had more luxury on it. You know what I mean? And whereas Pop was grimy, gritty from the streets, you know, and represented just a different facet of artistry. I feel like in this case, Nicki would be Biggie and Cardi would be Pop. You know what I'm saying? Because Cardi speak to the ghetto bitches like everybody else. Cardi, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like, and she is the biggest voice for the hot Cheetos.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? The biggest. And I feel like Nicki is the biggest, like most opulent, you know, and extremely talented and extremely successful, and has been, and the most longevitous.
This dude.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Just showing off.
But I think that who she represents, I don't think that someone that represents Cardi is taking anything away from Nicki. I don't think Cardi's what she represents takes anything away from Nicki, and what Nicki represents takes anything away from Cardi. They both can coexist. You can love both of them. You don't have to hate one to love the other.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that should be considered as we as fans and people who represent the culture go out here and tell our stories.
It's a really exciting time too for female MCs as well. Is there someone else that you really enjoy when it comes to female MCs?
Yeah, I like Tierra Whack.
Yes.
Love Rhapsody, Tokyo Jets, Cash Doll, Meg Thee Stallion, City Girls.
If you were to give advice to an up-and-coming female MC, what would you give her specifically when it comes to having to be a female in the industry that's very male-dominated?
Be dope and work hard. I mean, ultimately, man, if you dope and you work hard, and you know, talent will never be like denied. Exceptional talent will never be denied. I think it's two ways to become legendary: to be a star and to have exceptional talent. And most motherfuckers don't get to have both.
Yeah, but thank you. I appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Like
Thank you.
A superstar.
Yeah, talk
has
about it.
both.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
That is true. And you said talent?
And be a star.
And be a star. There it is right
Okay,
there.
man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
So that's
I
a
saw what you
double
was doing there.
negative. That's a double negative for you.
Nah, I saw what you were
what?
doing there, bro. You can't take away my shine.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You can't take away my shine. You came to my show, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Guess what?
Yeah, I didn't go to your number one podcast in the world.
You got that one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ti, do you think that there's a real possibility
Uh-oh.
that Donald Trump can be reelected again?
Dude,
and if so,
amen. That
what-
was my last one too. Like,
what can we do to change that narrative?
Of course there's a chance. It has been unlikely in the past history for a sitting president
One and done.
to be unseated. However, exceptions are made for exceptional circumstances. I feel like these circumstances are exceptionally, like, dastardly.
you know what's crazy about that tip is I feel like he has a better chance at a second term than I felt that he had at his first term.
Right.
Because
gonna
I
happen.
didn't think that it was going to happen the first time.
But see, in my eyes, that's what gave him the advantage. A lot
Right,
of people,
right,
a lot
right.
of people laid off, stayed back because
Yeah,
they
took our
never
hands
thought
off the wheel.
They never thought it could happen.
We also got hacked, but, you know.
Now we know it can happen,
Right.
and we know the level of importance that it represents. So we all have to do any and everything to make sure that it's undone. And if that means getting up, waiting in line, if that means, and don't be diverted. Don't allow yourself to be tricked or coerced into not caring because it matters.
Yeah, because you do get people like, oh, my vote doesn't matter. All this is going to happen anyway. But
People are
get
out
out
there
there and do
trying
it anyway.
to suppress you when it comes to voting. They want to put fear into you. They want to make you think
Absolutely.
that not voting is the cool thing to
Right.
do. Don't listen to it.
And
Or
I
that
always
it
tell
doesn't
people-
matter, but it does because they wouldn't be campaigning for your vote.
Yeah, and I tell
Certainly.
people, I say, man, if you don't vote, somebody's going to cast the vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tip, can you vote?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so when we hear just, okay, this person can't vote, is it
Right.
more of in your state
Yeah,
where
it's local.
Okay.
It's local. State by state, every state has different laws about what happens to felons. In Georgia, if you're a felon, after you have you done your time and you're no longer serving a sentence of incarceration or on probation or parole, then you're reinstated.
Oh, okay. So, because a lot of people don't even,
Yeah.
they'll sit and I also tell people like, man, look at where you are and see if you
Absolutely.
can. And then if you can't become that voice, they get other people.
Pick up 5 people who wouldn't have voted, and then then not only did you not participate, but you got 5 votes for your one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
man.
man.
I think that we all have to do our part, so we don't just become that bitch ass nigga who get hit and don't hit back.
We got a hell of a process and a long way coming up.
Yeah, man. I mean, ultimately, listen, survive and make the best out of the worst circumstances is what we have been doing best for years. But if we want to change that, we have the power to. All we have to do is be willing to stick together, use the necessary tools, make sacrifices, and get off our ass, stop complaining, and replace that with action.
Let me ask you this, T.I.,
Go
on
ahead
your
and ask me.
podcast, or
Go
just
ahead
in
and
life.
ask me.
Did you know or did you see what was going to happen with Tekashi 6ix9ine? Did that surprise?
He said, yeah.
I did. I did. I knew it was either that or he was gonna get himself killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
That's historically, as I look back, everything that history and my experiences have allowed me to observe has shown me that this outcome lends itself to this option or that one. But I knew he wasn't gonna do no long periods of time and no RICO case. You know what I mean? I just knew that. I knew that.
When you see things like that,
I didn't know it was gonna happen as soon as it
Right.
did. You know what I mean?
when you see things like that, man, Do you pay attention to it like this dude don't?
I thought
really?
it was gonna have a longer run.
Really?
I thought the run would have been longer. I didn't know that it would come to such an abrupt halt.
Right. Had you ever had a problem with him? Because he was telling everybody to suck it. Oh, okay.
Nah.
I didn't know.
I mean, man.
What do you see happening
My
next?
problems are more private than public.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean?
What do you see happening next?
He gonna take the stand. They gonna get some time. He gonna get less, and he gonna come home, and then you know what I mean. Or he'll die in jail. I don't know.
Right.
Could he come home, you think, or he has to go?
He
like,
got to come home.
Like
He gonna have to
fully,
get the hell out of there.
Witness
Yeah.
protection.
Yeah.
But I mean, like witness
He
protection.
can't
Does he go
hide.
hiding, or does he go
I
back
don't
to the?
know.
I don't think they
neighborhood?
care enough about
He
him.
cannot
for
go back to
for
the hood after
witness
snitching?
protection.
Yeah.
Yes, he can. That's
After
what you don't
snitching?
understand. Yeah, man.
How?
It's a bunch of rats walking around right now, and that's
What?
the thing. And that's the thing that really hurt. That would really hurt my feelings. You know, when cats have suspicions about me and how my case worked out and how I got such, you know, of a downward departure and put that on me, which my paperwork is available. Anybody who ever want to see it, you know what I'm saying? My plea agreement, and you can pull up my court minutes. All you need is my name. You dig what I'm saying? My name, my birthday. It's public record, you know? Ain't no secret snitches. It's been, well, I was locked up in 2007. It's 2019 now. That's 12 years. I'm sure that whoever it is I told on would have got access
Right.
to a phone.
Right.
Been able to tell somebody.
Yeah, man.
This nigga Tip put me in here.
Yeah, this is
And
what happened.
Nobody, it's just not, it isn't even logical to think that. But those same people with those adverse opinions, they ride around with somebody who they know done told in they hood right now. Just because, well, he tell on me. You know what I'm saying? It can't come home and throw parties. And the party be popping. It be full.
Right.
So if motherfuckers weren't fucking with rats, how in the hell is this party so packed?
Yeah.
And everybody know how cuz came home. Everybody know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, you know, just like, you know, it's no different from, you know, cats who want to beef online and they handled their around the corner beef. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This nigga around the corner told you he was gonna kick your ass when next time he see you, you ain't did nothing about that. This motherfucker across town who goddamn took your chain, you ain't did nothing about that. But you want to get online and you want to be so tough a motherfucker halfway across the country.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
see it all the time.
Exactly. I think that, you know, all that is just a product of what you know, the world we living in today, but I'm built to last.
Ti, the sound of the South is playing such a prominent role in hip hop right
Right
now.
on. Yep,
and
yep.
with you being one of the staple voices that started that, how does that feel looking back into everything that you did for the sound and for the culture?
Well, first and foremost, one thing I can't do, never have done, and don't think anyone else should do, is take full credit for where it is right now because of the people who came before me and created a way for me to do what I'm doing, like Outkast, Goody Mob, MC Shadi,
Yep.
Kilo. You know what I'm saying? Like, those cats paved the way for me to get and pass me the torch. They paved the way, passed the torch for me to carry it on to the next phase. And I mean, I think that what's going on right now is definitely a wave.
Huge wave.
It's a wave. And if it weren't for cats like Thug and Future and Chains and Gunna and Baby and Migos and, you know what I mean?
That's a lot of names right there, bro.
Yeah, if it weren't for cats like that, then the wave would have crashed on the beach by now. You did.
Yep.
So it ain't really all about me. You know what I'm saying? What I did was I took the torch, I carried it, and passed it on. You know what I mean? And I feel like that is the important thing to remember as we move forward. Because when you forget that and you think it's all about you, then the wave gonna crash.
But what about how quick everybody is to forget now? Anyway, like people want to put expiration dates on people.
Yeah.
Sure.
People want to forget who did carry the torch. Do you feel like you get the respect that you give to others?
I don't know. But I don't care. I don't
That's
really
a good
care.
answer.
That's the reason I believe that too. Like,
I really
not
don't
really
care,
thinking about it,
man.
man. Nah.
I mean, I live by the philosophy: if you live for the cheers, you will die by the boos. So, how great someone thinks of me or how ill someone thinks of me had absolutely no bearing on my happiness or my existence. So what they smoke don't get me high.
Right.
What they eat don't make me shit.
Yep, and say it
Say
again.
it.
One more, there's one
You know
more.
what I'm saying?
Who they fuck don't make me come.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't heard the other ones. I just used the.
Hey,
You know what
so
I'm saying?
I mean, like it don't really matter, man. I'm so focused on what I'm doing, man, that how you feel about me, man, is of no consequence.
How do you keep that chatter out when the clutter where everything is on this device now? People, you this, you that, and relationships, albums, who you are, like it's right to you.
You gotta really not give a fuck,
Yeah,
bro.
for real,
Just-
for real.
I mean, in my life, I care more about the opinions of the people who are around me, the opinions of the people who actually know me, and my world is so wonderful. You
Right?
know,
You can't penetrate this.
I have an incredible support system, man. I have people who really love me, who really are loyal and support me. So I really don't give a fuck, man. Like if all that goes away, man, I'm still the shit.
Yeah, hello.
I'm still the shit, man. If like I go back to my hood, man, and I'm still Tip. I started out in that hood as a little badass Tip with a chip on his shoulder, and now I'm T.I. But I'm still, if it all else fail, I can always go back to the reputation of little badass Tip. You dig what I'm saying? When I go home, my children love me.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's still excitement and happiness and glee when I walk in my house.
That's
You know what
beautiful.
I'm saying? People want me around.
Yeah, I hear you,
beautiful.
brother.
You dig what I'm saying? And I don't give a fuck about what if you don't think I am the best. Man, rap? Come on, man. That's something I do. It ain't who I am.
Go ahead.
You dig what I'm saying? And I think you have to have an incredible sense of self. You have to be knowledgeable of who you are, what you represent, and what you mean to the people around you. So you don't be looking for fictitious validation
Gotcha.
out here in this cyber world and these bullshit ass people. I don't really give a damn.
I
And
believe
you
it.
have to, and that's how you have to feel to maintain this level of just of not giving a fuckness. I made that one up.
Yeah, but I love that, man. I'm gonna write that one down too.
T.I., I love seeing that you're working with Tiana Taylor on You and Be There. 2 separate songs, but all together in one video. How did that come about?
Man, just sitting around and just, brainstorming about how we could work together. Mm-hmm. And her being as phenomenally gifted and talented as she is,
So talented.
and as a director, I felt that I didn't just want to do a regular music video. I said, man, if we do something, I'm gonna have to push you to your limits, and I'm gonna have to, we're gonna have to raise the bar because I just feel like I believe in you, and I know that's what you're capable of. So we came up with like a narrative for a short story, that she and I are vigilantes, if you will, righting the wrongs within our communities.
Yep.
And it starts with a story of a childhood friend, of a mutual childhood friend that we had in this pastor, and there may have been, or there definitely was some inappropriate activity among the 3 of us. One of us, you don't know, and we get to a point where we become adults and we feel like we need to go right that wrong. Now, by the end, there's a twist,
Yep.
and I'll see how many people catch it.
There it is. All
But
right.
it's out right now, man. You know what I'm saying? On YouTube, Vivo, and the songs are You and Be There.
There.
So I guess the short film would be Will You Be There?
Big Boy's
Big
Neighborhood,
Boy.
T.I. Definitely want to thank you for
Thank
coming into the
you.
neighborhood and hanging out
My
with us,
pleasure.
man.
Always a pleasure.
Man, we got to do it again. And once again, congratulations on Expeditiously.
Yes.
Thank you.
#1 podcast in the
Go
country.
ahead.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? And the only place that you go from #1 is #1. You know what I'm saying? Because the world is just now knowing also, man, what I thought I seen in you beforehand.
Man, thank
you know what
you.
I'm saying? So continue that platform, bro. And like I said,
Thank
we
you. And thank
trust
you for
in your
not
work.
telling me that. It's good to know that you saw that in me and didn't tell me about
You
it.
know why? I want to tell you straight up.
Okay.
Because I was afraid of it taking away from anything that I do.
You know what? I appreciate your honesty,
yeah,
brother.
man. And
I appreciate
when I
your
saw
honesty.
the #1, when I saw like #1, I
Yeah.
really,
Uh-huh.
I was excited and like, oh, fuck at the same time.
You know what?
You know, I was like, what does this mean?
And I can respect that. I see why you feel that way.
Yeah, but I love that you came in anyway.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying?
To gloat mostly.
And you know what? And
As
you
you do
gloat
best.
very well.
Well, thank
You
you.
gloat very well.
Thank
But
you. I was
nothing
here
but
to
continued
boast. I was here
success,
to
man.
boast.
And
Thank
keep boasting.
I appreciate
No,
that.
man, and keep representing us well, bro.
Please,
you know
for
what I'm
the
saying?
people.
Please,
Thank you.
man.
I'm
We
just doing
appreciate
my
you.
part, man. Nobody could do it by themselves, and I don't really expect no extra credit.
Man, I
You know
definitely
what
feel like you could do more. Y'all stick around, y'all radios, man. T.I. in the neighborhood, Big Boy neighborhood.